The first woman of color to fly a plane in the United States was a woman who was black and part Native American. Bessie Coleman, mother was a black woman. Her father was part Cherokee or Choctaw. Bessie was one of 12 children. So she had a busy and hard life living in Texas. But when she grew up, she moved to Chicago and worked as a hairdresser. And one day her brother, who had gone to France during the war, came back and he said, "You know, those French women, they can fly planes. Ain't no black woman, y'all ain't gonna ever fly no planes." And Bessie turned to him and said, "Brother, you've just said it for me. I am going to fly." And Bessie did fly. Now, it wasn't easy for her to be able to even learn how to fly. No one in the United States would teach a black woman how to fly an airplane. So she followed the advice of the publisher of the Defender, the black newspaper, and she went to France. And there she graduated from the best school of flight in France. But she came back to the United States and realized she couldn't make a living because she hadn't learned how to do those fancy tricks with planes, to do barnstorming, which was taking dives and turning your plane upside down. That was how people were making a living as pilots. So she went back to Europe, to Germany and Holland, and learned all of the tricks. She came back to the States and would buy whatever plane she could afford. Usually not a brand new one and not the best, but she got mechanics who helped her. And she was able to perform throughout the country. Even after having an accident, a crash in her plane, once she got healed, she got another plane and started performing with her plane. She would do jumps from the plane. She would do dives. She turned the plane upside down. Hundreds of black people and some white people came to see her. And one day, a newspaper man asked her why she wanted to fly. And she said, "We must have aviators if we are to keep up with the times. I shall never be satisfied until we have men of the race who can fly. Do you know, you have never lived until you have flown." Of course, it takes one with courage, nerve, and ambition. And that was Bessie. And she kept flying until she had a fatal accident in 1926. She was preparing to jump out of the plane, so she didn't have on her seatbelt. And her plane flipped over in the air and she fell out. But we can still claim that the first woman of color to fly a plane in America represented two cultures. Bessie Coleman.